Hey, Koopa with the atmosphere. We're going over. Oh my goodness, yeah, this is it. This is our first master quest in Master Vocation. There are three. I almost said two because there have been two for a while. There are three in this game right now. And for the first one, we're going to be doing the first release. So you gotta do the Guardian first. The Guardian, the upholder of everything pure, courageous, and noble in Estoltia here. Hope you enjoy these quests. We're just going to do the first one today, about 15 or so minutes. And unlock this one. Now, the classes in this game, as they've gone and developed, there's more and more stipulations you need in order to get them, and they start out a little bit better, a little bit more flashy, indeed. So for this one, and all the other master vocations as well, you start out at level 100, but you also need two other base classes in order to have the ability to unlock this one. You also need to do a quest. I have done that quest. You can look back on the videos. I believe it is the Deem video that I did. You can just search like Deem on the channel. You'll find it. I also believe it's like the last one in the side quest playlist. But yeah, you gotta do that first too. It is actually quite a hard boss. Just like a lot of these quests also have hard bosses. These are not for the faint of heart, my friends. So if you haven't grinded quite a bit, maybe hold this off for a little. I actually do think, we're in the middle of version 3 right now, and I actually do think that if you are just barely version 3 level, you probably won't be able to do this. And as a matter of fact, you can now do version 3 and 4 on a fresh, unsubscribed file without paying. Of course, you still gotta go through all the funny, weird Dragon Quest translation tool stuff if you want to do that. And if you want to play on the Switch, then you just won't be able to play it in Japanese, and you're gonna have to get a Japanese Switch account, which is not too hard. Now, I actually have no idea if this is going to be available on the Switch 2 for you, you sad Nintendo blinded fools who decided to get that for whatever reason. But that's neither here nor there. Today, for the Guardian quest, essentially we're just getting qualified. It's just a big boss fight. The lore of the Guardian is they're just a team of guys who protect the gate. I believe Guardian was released in version 6, and this was after they did the whole Demon World version. So the lore with this one is this is a gate that connects to the Demon World. It was created by a giant demon god who was literally unbeatable. And then, a bunch of people banded together and just sealed him into a door instead of beating him, because it's like, Jesus Christ, man, you have way too much health. And, yeah, essentially we just hold off the gates for a little bit. Tragedy strikes. This guy, as you can see from this text here, is a very lovely individual who causes us no trouble at all throughout the entire quest. And then we finish it off by actually getting rid of the gate, due to help from an unsuspecting place, a little bit of a blast from the past for one of our main leaders here. So first, to start it off, we're just gonna fight some things from this wonderful knight statue. And we're gonna see what we're dealing with here, as far as enemy strength, all that good stuff. Now, the funny thing about this quest is I actually did have a little bit of a hard time with it when I first did it on my baby file. I've been struggling to keep that file at a low level, but it's been working relatively well, and just staving him off as like a low level character. It's not working terribly. Just keep Caillou to be like my second best person, and then I'll have just the male, the guy, to be my sort of challenger character. When I do a lot of the fancy schmancy battles that I probably shouldn't win, I just want to be my guy character. It's more of an aesthetic thing for me. Not entirely necessary, but that's the plan for now. I believe there's a couple of enemies here for this battle. I'm actually not sure how many. But there's quite a lot of these types of fights where you have to brawl with a bunch of people for this quest line. No, it may be a little annoying, but that's how life is, man. You often can't just fight one person. You gotta, get the Legion. Now, luckily, most of these motherfuckers that you'll fight are just NPCs, general losers, people with no direction, the Lost Boys, all this bullshit, so you don't really need to worry about that much, but, yeah. I actually think it is just this guy, though. Hold on. Maybe I'm dumb. It might not be a group of people this time. Still got a lot of health. Comparatively, of course. Because we do have, like, the fastest DPS in the game right now. Pirate. So personally, I don't know why he's not already dead. Of course, I'm already dead, but, it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, that's what we got going on today, guys. About midway through the quest, so I'll go ahead and start chatting on my philosophizing platitudes. So I'll get on my soapbox once more again here and just chat to you guys about the general acts of the vocation of the Guardian, And we'll talk about vocations in general, because Guardian's a very noble, very masculine vocation. A lot of people feel the need to protect in life. They just feel they have the ability to, take a lot more bullshit. So, why not? Why not, right? And the main thing with the Guardian is that if they didn't have this giant evil thing, they won't have anything to protect. Nothing to guard, right? So when you look at yourself and you decide to take that role, to take up that mantle of a Guardian, just make sure you're guarding something that, actually deserves to be held off from the world. I think a lot of people really do tank grenades for just like the rest of their life. You know that one friend at the frat party or whatever, who's maybe he doesn't get as much play as the next guy, but he found this one girl and she's got the ugly friend, and there's that noble Guardian. He's willing to take that sacrifice for the game. And I fully believe that there are people in real life who view their relationships as a grenade that they're taking, And in this way, I would say that those are the true guardians of the world. If you are anyone who refuses to leave by your emotional baggage, aka someone who you invested, time, energy, or love, or even hate into, just a lot of emotion into this person. And you feel a responsibility to, not only their happiness, but, their direction in life, just to make sure they're going okay, not crashing out, or they're still mentally stable. You may have a little bit of a guardian instinct in you. Now, the thing is, the difference between a guardian and a paladin is the noble duty. And also the competence. A lot of these guardians, you'll see, are very, very capable warriors, and I love the fact that generally you should all be able to hold our own, and paladins, they can. Some would even say they can do it better than a guardian, but I'd say in this game, the difference in defenses is quite admirable for Guardians, not Paladins. Paladins can kind of just mitigate damage. And I feel like a lot of the ways in this game Paladins mitigate damage is just by ignoring it. And that's kind of like the same thing in real life. A lot of the times you really see people who protect a lot of people just ignore a lot of bullshit. Guardian's not like that. Guardian's gonna, it's gonna ignore some stuff. But, they just got a lot of health. So oftentimes what the Guardian will do is just take what you say head on at face value. Really analyze it, really feel it within themselves, take that criticism. They may even turn the other cheek and allow you to get under the hit it. Because for the Guardian, just having you, feel satiated isn't enough. As you'll see in this quest, we're not just holding off the fucking gate of hell or whatever. We're destroying that shit. We no longer tolerate it. And if you want to adopt this Guardian nature, you can no longer tolerate anything that, doesn't fully align with your values. You have to destroy it. You have to, fix it, adhere it, blended into, your psyche, your light and dark, your yin and yang. Make that become what your guardian instinct is. What your natural way to interact is, to guard. We're almost done with the quest here. We're gonna do a little bit of a blast from the past from our Paladin quest. I know you guys remember that one. We went on good old Denzel Curry intros. We love that. That was a very, very fun intro to make. Very fun episodes to record. But here we are back at the Zama Beacon, and we're going right back to the Love Rocks. The prayer love rocks. The prayer love rocks of rocks. Yes. I do like this area. Zama Pass is probably one of my favorite, I guess you quote unquote call this like a town, a rest area. Well, yeah, it was just like a rest area. One of my favorite rest areas. I always like the underground bridge little style of thing. I think the Ogreed continent has a lot of really cool, like old-timey areas. I don't know why that the Zama Pass always reminds me of a Cracker Barrel. Oh, I mean, I suppose I should call it the old new style of Cracker Barrel, because they were doing all those renovations and shit, and then they undid the undo of the renovations. Nevertheless, though. Yeah, as a guardian, you gotta realize it's a hard road. It's not for the weak. It's not for the easily stressed. It's funny though, because in this game it's a little bit unrealistic. There's just a lot of girls in the Guardian camp. Maybe they're just being hopeful, right? It's not something I can see a lot of females in the profession of. Of course, it's funny because we're making Alana do this quest as well. I think if you want to go brass tacks to brass tacks, she's a little bit of a Guardian class herself. I feel like anyone who openly decides to share the truth instead of sharing what's comfortable, making emotional arguments, it's pretty noble. Of course, there's always more we could do. There's always more we could protect, but that small act, that small act of just being able to discern, hey man, this is gonna hurt me, but it has the chance to help maybe, like, I don't know, 1 or 2 people. So I'm gonna do it anyways. So I'm gonna try. And people like that have the guardian nature in them. See, the problem with that is sacrifices. A lot of unwanted sacrifices need to be made, and I just feel like it's very unlikely to find a woman with that self-sacrificial nature. At least in today's climate, they're probably just hiding. They're probably just down in the woodwork. You really don't see them standing on soapboxes everywhere, Of course. It's just in my opinion. From all perspectives, all things can be true. But yeah, in general, it's a pretty manly vocation. Guys love sacrifices. They love testosterone, and good thing that the testosterone is there, because it makes us think we can actually do this stupid shit that we probably can. A little bit more logical, a little bit more emotional, and you might be stopped, you might be halted, you might be slowed, and it's just not helpful in the Guardian world. It's just not helpful. You got a lot of shit to do, you got a lot of people to meet. And the thing about that is, it's not like I'm gatekeeping, the Guardian class, or like, girls can't be Guardians, they should never. I'm just saying, there's a lot of choice for female vocations. If you want to succeed, you can basically be anything. Basically. If you're a girl. But guys, we really can't do much with a unscalable vocation. And luckily, the Guardian can be scaled to a crazy amount. The damage goes crazy, the defense goes fucking crazy. But yeah, if you have something that it can't necessarily scale as a girl, all you really need to do is know how to heal. And then you're good. You're paired with anyone, and you're fine. You don't even really need to know how to heal, because if I'm a Guardian, I can heal myself. So if you know how to buff, it's fine. If you know how to literally do anything, you could be a gad. You could be a goofball. You could be an idiot, as long as you're supporting me in some way. And the thing is, guys, a lot of just people don't acknowledge their amount of support. A lot of people don't advocate for how much support they really need. You know, it's just a communication. That's the true lack in our world. We don't know how to talk to each other. And if we do know how to talk to each other, we don't know how to receive that information in a constructive way. We don't. We always take it personal. Because it is, on some level. And the reason that everything is personal is because we divided our lives into the online and the offline. And we really don't use the offline. So when you only have, you know, the online that you commonly go back to, and this is going to freak you out a little bit, there is no online. It's all in your mind. It's the on mind. So basically, a lot of people don't practice the art of communicating to someone that is not in their head. And that was commonly my problem. You don't realize, man, but all these times you're, you know, typing things to your favorite streamer, or you're on Discord chatting to your homies, or you're texting your girl, texting your friend, you gotta text your boss. It's all not communication. You think you're talking to people. It is a feckless distraction, a dystopian replacement for actual communication skills. And no one can critically think enough to realize that they're fucking us. Socially, we're getting a social gangbang. It's not even a gangbang. We're getting a social padded cell where we just get fucked by one singular person. We don't know where they're coming from. We get specter fucked. But yeah, guys, if you decide to wield that guardian, you can be the truth teller, the truth wielder, to let people know what is happening here, what is going on. You know, what the true state nature of the world is. Because it's a little weird. It's a little weird, it's a little different, and I'm noticing a lot of people see it in a lot of different ways, but the most popular ways and the emotional ways to see it, which, okay, but we should have more options, essentially, for, you know, what necessarily is going on, because I feel like if you looked at it just in a different way, we would not be annoyed by the crazy nature of the world, and instead we would be a little bit amazed, you know, maybe a little bit confused, but definitely not angry. I love you, subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Peace out.